Welcome everyone to the Lead Generation Roundtable. My name is Nick Griffith. I'm your host for this call, and it's a real pleasure today to have an expert guest and friend, Richard Woods. Richard will fill in the gaps in any of my introduction that he's left, but Richard was already shot to fame in his marketing expertise, but he really shot to fame prominence in the BBC's Apprentice. And I think he was one of the finalists of the show there with Alan Sugar. But Richard is a founder of, I think, more than one digital marketing businesses. His own agency is now founder of what is called the $1 Million Sprint, which I'm a part of this process too. And Richard's expertise in Facebook ads has certainly been, from my perspective anyway, knowing a number of people doing this, has really been someone who knows his stuff. So that's enough chat from me. Richard here. I'm here to kind of field the questions, ask any of my own. And really, this is for you to sort of take over the floor and lead away. This is an interactive session, I've told people. So do feel free to ask your questions.
Yeah, well, look, thanks, Nick. And look, my main thing is I love the thing that gets the phone ringing and inbox pinging with inquiries. It's that lead generation piece that I really like. Strangely enough, Lloyd becoming in the student property sector. I've done a lot of work with helping big student halls of residence find students. And I also have my own student HMOs, so I could give you some kind of insights into what they were doing there. In terms of e-commerce, Angie, I started my business career straight out of university with a sketchbook full of ideas. I found myself in the trade show halls of Guangzhou and Shenzhen over in China. I got a load of products put on containers. I brought them back to the UK and I started to sell them online. I had a website called funkygifts.com, which did really well at that point. So I kind of got a good angle for both sides of things. So look, yeah, I'm happy to kind of deep dive into some Facebook ad stuff or maybe bubble up into more what I'm seeing in the market. But one thing I can see for sure is the current kind of climate as we come out of this COVID time, kind of globally, is that we're now going into summer, certainly in the hemispheres that we're all kind of coming in from today. And the issue with summer, and very much in Europe as well, as you know, Angie, is that the slowdown of European businesses in August and in that kind of time, and everybody's going to be going, oh, thank God we're over that COVID stuff, and I want to kind of relax and enjoy things and everything. And so your competition and the marketplace is all going to be going to take a chill and kind of relaxing, and everybody's going to be doing less. Now is the time to actually do far more, because of course, when people do relax, what are they doing? They get the phone out and they start looking at stuff. And only today did someone say to me on the phone, oh, I can't come along to your event. I'm kind of out with my kids enjoying the Lake District. And the irony is for me is that they're out enjoying the Lake District, answering my emails, right? So they come back and so obviously he's looking at my marketing, having the time to read it, and therefore people are susceptible to consuming content. And when we mean the start of that is they might not go and jump in and actually go and have your sales conversations with you now, but they will start building a relationship with you now, because they're using that type of brain that's a little bit more in that kind of thought process, a bit more kind of research mode. They are disruptable, they are marketable, and so therefore you can get them into your info swaps. What I mean by that, like get them to download prospectuses for student accommodation, or landlords reaching out to have some assistance, or people actually starting to do some due diligence on uniforms or whatever when they're buying stuff, whatever it might be. From my perspective, starting to look at business coaching and starting to think about what they want to do, and they might start to think, well, what is their plans going forward? So therefore they'll consume more content. So now is a great time to start going out and marketing, because the noise is less, and also the ads costs are less because there's less competition, because less people are running ads because of those reasons as well. So good time to start marketing, I say, says the marketeer. But there you go. So cool. Look, the digital space is my playground, so I'm happy to take any kind of questions, or maybe just people kind of share what they're doing and see if I can refine it. So Lloyd or Angie, feel free to kind of share an anecdote or let me know what you're working on.
Well, I already started a few ads, just, making some small tests for the food company. And I had this question like, how do we know how much to invest? Like, how do we know when it started to be profitable an action? Because like, is there any kind of rule? Like you need to spend to start the first month 1,000, 2,000, 300, like how do we know? Because I understand that for one publicity, maybe there is not an order that day or that week, but maybe through repetition we can get the order. So I don't know if there is some kind of metrics to avoid understanding when it works after we spend too much or too little.
So yeah, great question. So it just in terms of the food business, what are you actually selling in terms of, what's the typical client look like? What's the typical first order?
Well, it's a company that actually was brick, and we moved it to mobile, like with the food trucks. And they move around and they sell bagels and mini donuts, because in France there were not many mini donuts. And after COVID, my partner went to a shop and it was like, we cannot take any more orders. So that what might be opportunity there. So we partner up, and it started really, really good without any advertisement. So I said, okay, let's see what this gives. This we can promote it online. So we have this mini donuts box. There's one of each different taste of all around the world. Wow. And we started advertising that. So we did get some leads, but I'm a bit lost. I don't know if we burst in too much or too little, or how we do it.
Really, really great example. So let's just deep dive on that food truck. Now, can I just ask, geographically, do they have to come to the truck to be able to consume that, or do you send them?
Well, right now, yes. And we are in 2 cities. Yeah. But the idea is that once we understand better how the online business works, because my background is like military, it's very, very different. So the idea is to go like Uber Eats and Deliveroo, so they can do the delivery. So we don't have that option yet. We do have a website that they can fulfill the order, and they need to pick up. Right now, the only option is pick up.
Okay, lovely. Well, let me show you how. Can I share screens, please, Nick?
Just setting it up for you.
Okay. So I love jumping on my kind of blackboard, and I'll do a little drawing for you to kind of show you how the funnel looks. Are you on a phone, by the way, Angie, or are you on a laptop?
No, I'm on a computer.
Great stuff. So so you should be able to hopefully see this. Nick, you've still got me disabled.
I think it should be.
Okay, we're in.
You're in.
Stuff. Right, so when you start to think about this, let me just move everybody out the way. You want to kind of find a target audience, right? So say you want to be looking at people in their 20s who are. What's one of the cities that you're operating in?
Annecy.
Do you say Annecy?
Yes, just next to Geneva.
Fantastic, right? So you're looking for people who in Annecy who are kind of interested in that. Maybe they've liked on Facebook, say, some American movies, or they like Dunkin' Donuts on America, so that sort of stuff. So maybe some donut related things, or they're just kind of millennial type people that might like donuts. You're trying to just get a feel for who is already buying from you. So you do that search within Facebook, and you start to go, right, those are the type of people that we want to be working on. And of course, here, let's just get out the magic rainbow pen, which I love using. That represents.
Richard likes his rainbow pen.
I like the rainbow pen. It's because life needs more color. That's what I'm saying. So you get the wonderful opportunity that people come into here, and that's when they actually buy from you. That's a pound sign, which would be completely wrong. Let's do a euro. And so they're buying the donuts from you. From here. So this is where we want to get people to pilgrimage to. But at the same time, we also want to know who they are. We want to build a database of people. So when you go and do your national campaign and be very much kind of without the food truck and delivery, you've got a great database here that you can start to send email campaigns to. You can start to target those data. So you need a data set of people that you can go after, but you also want to cover the cost of your ads by getting people to buy from you as part of it. So what I would recommend is I'd be running a special offer, and I'd be getting them to actually download the coupon. So some sort of coupon or something that gets them a discount for their box of donuts, right? So the point of this is that I can actually give you my name, email address in exchange for the coupon, but I didn't have to pay you anything. And I didn't have to go to a specific location to do anything. It's very much low committal for me to get onto your database. So it doesn't cost me anything. And so I jump in and I do that. So you can do that coupon code for, say, for a Facebook lead ad. And the nice thing about a Facebook lead ad is that you can create an ad to say, amazing 12 donuts from around the world, get a 50% off or a 25% off coupon, just put your name and email address below. The form on the ad can be embedded within that ad on Facebook. And the reason why this bit's really, really important is that if you're trying to drive people off and get them to buy straight away, there's a number of things that are an issue. One, Facebook doesn't like people leaving Facebook. So the cost of that ad's more expensive. The second thing is that Facebook also knows that if you're spending money here, then it's also going to raise the price of that because it's driving people off. But also the people here might go to this site and not buy, so you lose them. You don't even know who they were. Whereas if you keep people within the walled garden of Facebook, the Facebook will reward you with less ad spend, less cost of your ad, and also a further reach because of that. Because of course, Facebook's a big business. It needs to present its users and the amount of time people spend on their platform. And so therefore they are unincentivized to help you to drive people off the platform. So therefore they reward people by putting things like lead ads together to keep you on the platform, right?
That could be, sorry for the interruption. It would be when we select where would you like to get this. Normally I was putting traffic to my website. That is wrong, right?
Yes, that is probably the that's a simple way of doing it, but it would probably be the least effective. And I'll just kind of connect those dots for you, right? So the nice thing about them downloading the coupon is that you can immediately then send them an email to say, thanks for downloading the coupon. Here's now the link to go and buy the food, right? So one, you get them into your database. Great, we can remarket to them. So next week, you don't have to spend any money here. You can send them another email and drive them into there, and they're a free lead. So you've got a database you can keep on selling to them. The other beautiful thing about it is that they may not buy from you this week, but they might buy from you next week. And again, you don't have to pay for that lead again, right? And so therefore the coupon works. The other beautiful thing about this is that it pre-fills in the data into the form. So it's really easy for the user just to press, yes, I'll do that. And so they fill in the data. And the final thing, which is a current thing, is that Apple's just released this new iOS update. And you may have heard of it before, but essentially Apple have had an argument with Facebook and Google about cookies being put onto them, or pixels. And so if you are driving people off the site, normally what you would do is actually, instead of a traffic ad, you would do a conversion ad. So you would put a pixel, is what it's called on your site, onto someone that drives off Facebook. And you would then be able to communicate to Facebook who came from here, who actually went and brought. So then Facebook would then take that data and find more people that look like the people that are most likely to buy, and will drive those people to it next. So you optimize the ad based upon results. Apple have realized this and gone, well, actually, we don't like giving our data to Facebook, and we don't like our users who are using Apple iPhones having themselves being looked at on what they buy. So we're not allowing people to be tagged with a pixel or a cookie. And so therefore we blocked that, right? I know it's slightly technical, but I'm sure you're probably following it.
Yeah, I do have a pixel, and I got these communications. I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, so basically Apple, we don't want you seeing what our people who are using my phones are doing, because it doesn't benefit us. We're not an ads-driven company. We sell phones. But Facebook's like, well, we're an ads-driven company, so we want to serve people with ads. And Apple I don't care. So then they've blocked them, right? So there's a big argument that's happening at the moment. So what's Facebook done? Well, it's incentivizing people to not drive traffic off their platform, because they can, doesn't matter if you're using an iPhone or not, tell people if they've downloaded a coupon on Facebook, because it can see stuff that's happening on Facebook.
Great.
You feel me?
So this is all a new change. This is the shift.
This is literally happening right now.
So actually you're recommending this type of ad probably for most instances, or a lot of instances?
Most instances. The other thing that Angie should be looking into is that you can have a shop within Facebook. and you could set up actually products. Instead of driving them out, you take the products in and you stick them over here, which is another great excuse to use the rainbow pen, which we all need. And so the point is that you can then drive them into the shop within Facebook, and you can then actually get sales within Facebook, and people will be able to buy your donuts from the shop within Facebook, which will be great for you. And you could set up 2 shops for each city. So you have a different shop for each city, and you would be doing it that way and driving sales that way. So you'd be taking these people and pushing ads in there.
And it's okay for pickups, or it's just deliveries?
I think it's okay for pickups. Yeah, you just need to be really clear on that. So I think you can sell any product. You could sell T-shirts, you could sell drop-off, pickup, whatever you could do. You could sell tickets to events. So yes, you can do it for pickup, right? So the point of this is, and why I'd advise you this way, is that the actual work that you're putting in to get people to buy on Facebook, that's great, you'll get them to buy. But actually, I still feel the number one strategy for you is the coupon, because again, I may not want to buy from you this week. I may not want to come and pick up the donuts from you this week, but I may do next week. So you're better off getting the database enriched with people that want a coupon code, and then spend your time marketing to them. And do you know what the final thing, because I just love this, and Lloyd, thanks there. I'm happy to jump on and give you a few ideas in a second, but let me just show you the cool thing. And this should be resonating, because we run these sort of campaigns for students, accommodation stuff in the past, is this wonderful thing called a lookalike audience, right? So when you start to get a database of people that are downloading coupons, so this is what I'd call your leads, right? And then you get another database of people that are buying stuff. So these are your customers, right? So for you, Lloyd, if people are downloading, we can deep dive a little bit more, but you could have people that are downloading student prospectuses who are interested in finding out more about student accommodation, for example. They would be your leads, and then your customers would be your actual students that rented from you, or your actual landlords that gave you jobs, right? So you have 2 lists, right? So the coupon's going to give you leads. You then convert those coupon people into customers. You're a customer list. These are 2 lists. Now you can upload those lists into Facebook, and you go, right, I've now got my customers as a list within Facebook, and Facebook can see what I see as being my customers, and I can upload my leads, right? Now those 2 lists, you just upload them as an Excel file, and Facebook goes, right, I will look at all that data, and I will find the Facebook profiles of people that are your customers and your leads. You then say, great. So what you then do is you go, I now don't want you to do ads to my customers, because I've already got them in my database, and I don't need you to show them more ads, right? So you're going to save money there, because your customers are going to click on all your stuff because they love you. So you don't want to spend more ad budget on them. So you exclude them from your ads. But what you do is you lookalike them. So there's a functionality on Facebook that goes, make another audience that looks like my customers, but isn't my customers, and use all your amazing Zuckerberg data, billions of pounds worth of knowledge, which is far better than my knowledge, to be able to find the perfect list of people that look like my customers that aren't my customers. And then I want you to run ads into that. And in the interim, because you have to have at least 100 people to be able to create a lookalike audience, you can do exactly the same with your leads, and then you lookalike your leads as well. So you can be running 2 different campaigns, which is a lookalike of your leads to try and sell people into there. And you can also be running another campaign that actually then gets people into your customers' lookalikes. And of course, you could, the final thing is that this database that isn't your customers yet, you could then do a spot sale to actually then help them to buy and become a customers as well on Facebook. So you could kind of then, your warm data, you can try and close them to buy through that, and then finding new to get into it, you look like your customers and get them to go in.
Are you allowed to upload data, email addresses of people that you haven't found via Facebook, or would that be breaking some type of GDPR rules?
No, so the point of this is that, now look, right, so the first thing that I will say, Lloyd, that this is light entertainment and I don't give any advice whatsoever. So I'm not a trained GDPR person, whatever. So take what I say at will. I'm more like an entertainer than a lawyer. But my perspective of GDPR is that If there is a legitimate business interest to be able to actually market to them, you can do. But if you've already got their data, then all you're doing is you're putting it into Facebook. Facebook is finding people that they already know in their platform and saying, I've now got an audience of people that are the people that you already know, and then you can run ads to it. So we upload our prospect CRM to our Facebook. So then we can actually then send ads to them as well as sending emails to them to get them to buy from us. And when they buy from us, then we exclude our customers from our ads. We also do that with our LinkedIn connections. So we download our LinkedIn connections and we upload those LinkedIn connections to Facebook, and we run ads into those LinkedIn connections as well, because we're hitting them up on all multi-platforms and we're getting them into that. So it gives you this wonderful remarketing opportunity, and it works the other way. So you can retarget people from on LinkedIn that you get from a Facebook audience as well. So these platforms are really intelligent in terms of how their ads work. So from LinkedIn ads to Google ads to Facebook ads, you can use custom audiences to then target data sets with ads.
This is a great way, Richard, to almost accelerate or exaggerate or amplify the data you have got to make it work even harder for you. There might be those that are out there listening going, I've only got a small list, but how can I make it work even harder? This is how you do it.
Exactly right.
And it runs just off email address, right?
Well, so actually, there's a few things, right? It's three things. It's name, it's email, and it's mobile phone number are the three key markers that would be good to have. You don't have to have them all. You could have other things like date and birth and all that sort of stuff, but you tend not to have those as a hard and fast rule, right? The reason why mobile phone number is good, it's not compulsory, is God knows how many email addresses I've got. I've got a ton of email addresses. If you ask me what email address I signed up to Facebook with, I can't probably tell you, but that would be the data that Facebook has, right? Whereas I've only had one mobile phone number in my whole life, even when I was 14, when I had my first Nokia 64, whatever it is, 10. And so it's the same number. So that is always been me, nobody else. And so mobile has become a really nice thing. And when you actually do kind of a bit of a download of LinkedIn data, you'll find that actually a lot of people have their mobile numbers associated with their profiles as well. And so that becomes a really nice way of getting that data set and then uploading that data set into Facebook and then targeting that way.
Okay, good info.
Cool. So Lloyd, what kind of campaigns and people are you targeting?
Well, we're targeting landlords and students, and as I said to Nick, I'm not personally doing it, so I'm not 100% au fait with it. But I know we've started doing Facebook ads. I think we're using Instagram quite a lot. Yeah, and that's about it, I think.
And when you're doing when you're running Facebook ads, who are you running them to? What are you saying to them? What's the purpose? What's the
Yeah, I'm already out my comfort zone. As I say to a colleague, I don't think she could attend. It's mainly students she's targeting. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're posting videos, that they're posting messages, sometimes it's complimentary information, I believe they're posting. So, how to de-stress during exams and things like that, other things that students may be interested in. So they're trying to connect with them that way as well.
So are you but ultimately you're trying to get them to inquire about accommodation?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we used to do that. And the main thing that I'd say that works well is to get a accommodation prospectus. People have, this is what's worked. So we work with a company called Herbalife and Student Life in terms of big student hall accommodations. We did a load of ad work with them. Remember what I do when I say we did it, I don't do the work, right? I'm a consultant. I teach and I coach people how to do the stuff, right? So that was the piece that we did. And what worked really well was lead ads, similar to what I've just mentioned, but with the word prospectus, so accommodation prospectus 2021, because people are downloading academic prospectus for the education piece. So then you go for accommodation prospectus and they download that. So they see what the feeling is, that they might see a whole plethora of different variations of accommodation, like they would do with education pieces, but ultimately you're only putting your bits in there. And so they're just seeing what you've got available. Then they download that as leads, and then you go back. But the other thing is that in a year's time or in 8 months' time, you then hit them up for next year, because students tend to move each year. And so that data set is probably good for 3 to 5 years. And then you just kill it, because obviously if anybody's at university more than 5 years, then they kind of probably just lingering on a list and need to be removed. So that's how I would play that one, Lloyd, and that's how I'd work that type of campaign. The lookalike audience could be really good for you as well, because that's students that look like that student but isn't that student. And the nice thing about lookalike, you can then geographically ring fence that audience by saying people that currently live in the city of Southampton that look like this database, then and these ages, that could be really good for targeting. So
good advice. Thank you.
Cool.
Okay, we've got 5 minutes left. Richard, I'd encourage you to put your links into the chat of where people can book a call with you. This is me following your advice you've given me. I'm giving back to you.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, obviously I don't want to.
No, people, if they wanted to know a bit more about the $1 Million Bid, at least put them a link into the chat where they can find out more.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Fine. That's in there. So there's a strategy session in there. If people want to, talk a bit more about their marketing with me one-to-one, feel free to jump on that. That's also my website to go on there and talk about it. But obviously, I want to, promote. I know, Nick. Nick, are you talking about your scorecard stuff?
That's right. Today, I was letting you take the floor. I was just going to tag it onto the tail end. So answer any. I've got a couple more minutes for questions. I know we've just got.
I know what I like. I don't want to kind of take your attention, but from there. But yeah, cool. I tell you what, I just thought maybe it'd be a good idea just to show how to set up these lead ads. Would that be okay? I could do that really quick.
That would be great.
So when you're talking about traffic ad that you've been doing, Angie, that's okay, because I'm also conscious. Hi, Kevin, by the way. I see that you.
I couldn't just interrupt. You couldn't show us how to upload the database, the Excel database as well, could you, please?
Yeah, I can go for that. So I really just show Andy the easy. So this is Facebook Ads Manager, and this lovely green button here is what you want to do when you create a new ad. You then press that; it will give you the options. And so Angie was talking about a traffic ad. That's kind of one of the ways that you do it. The lead generation piece here is that's what you would click to create a lead ad.
Okay, perfect.
You set it up exactly like a traffic ad, but the difference is that when you get to the actual ad itself, let me just press that now and let it set up an ad. When you actually get to the ad piece, so you do in the ad set, you would still put the different audiences, etc. in. But when you get to the ad, let me just scroll down. It's just loading. Come on. So you get to the bottom here. So you put all the headlines and stuff in, and here is the instant form. So this is the piece that then allows you to put the form in to be able to do that. And if I click on that and then scroll down the page, you'll be able to see, right. So this is what it looks like. So you set up the ad with all the creative, and then when someone says, yes, I'm interested, this then pops up. This is what's a tile, and people click next and go through it. So for us, that's people coming to, say, a round table. This is the form. So they would automatically put their name, email, phone number. You don't have to do phone number. You could do other stuff. You do city in there. And then from there, there'll be a privacy policy that you need to just add in, because obviously it's Facebook, isn't it? And then at the end of it, you get a finishing tile that says, great, your coupon code is this. So you could give the coupon code on this finishing tile. That's step one. Step two, you can then do one, you go check out our shop and use it. And so that can then become the link. So you've got the lead. And then step two on the final thing is then go and buy. So here's coupon code, click here, go buy, and then that does the link. So it's like a traffic ad, but you put this form in the front of it that regardless if they click to your website or not, you get the lead. And the beautiful thing is you still then get around the Facebook not wanting to drive people off the site, because that call to action is there. So
how much we should invest in one coupon ads?
So I always say do a test of 100 euros for 10 days. So 10 euros a day, 100 euros, but because we have this kind of concept of TNAD. So it's try it, nail it, automate it, delegate it. So what we mean by that is that you try different ads until you nail one. So you're getting loads of leads, and then automate it. So you can actually then start to automate it. Is a bit difficult with Facebook ads, but you can start to maybe have an evergreen, like, you know, you're spending say £5-10 a day or whatever it is, and then delegate it. You then actually can bring in someone to manage it for you, right? So then you step out of that process and you've got your Facebook sorted. You're then looking at, you know, YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is, right? And then you TNAD that. So try it, nail it, automate it, delegate it. But I always say £100 or €100, €10 a day. But then, you know, if you got 1 or 2 leads a day, then you know that you're spending €5 a lead. And so then if you spend £1,000, you know that you'll be getting, you know, say you're getting two a day, then that means you'll be getting 20 for £100. So if you then spend 1,000, that should give you 200 leads, right? And so it just means that you can go, right, I've done my £100 test over 10 days. I got that data. Okay, now let's try and ramp it up because it's successful, or it didn't really work. So now let's try a different type of ad, or let's try a different type of thing, or let's drive them to the shop on Facebook, do another £100 test. Did we nail it? We did. Okay, now let's scale it. So nail it, then scale it. Right, and then the final bit here is that I'll go and talk to Lloyd. So within Ads Manager, when you upload the details, you've got audiences in here. So Ads Manager in here, audiences in here. And when audiences, you want to create a new audience. And Nick, I'm just conscious of time, so I'll be very quick on this. You've got
please finish what you're saying. Go for it.
Okay, all right. Okay, because you as it loads up, this is where you can then actually create an audience. So the blue button here, and you can create a custom audience. So you see the lookalikes are below it. We'll come on to that in a second. You create a custom audience and you click customer list. You can create an audience of people that have been to your website, people who've done stuff on your app, offline activity. But to be honest with you, the customer list is what we were talking about in terms of uploading a database. You press next, and then essentially you would then download this file template. So that's just downloaded an Excel file here, or Google Sheet, Excel. And this is the template that you chuck all the data in. So it will show you that there's emails. You can put up to 3 emails, up to 3 phone numbers, first name, last name, zip, you know, that sort of stuff. You could literally just get rid of like most of these columns and just upload email, phone number, name, and it all works. So you just need to edit this sheet. So if you only have 2 emails or 1 email address for that person, you would get rid of 2 columns. You'd leave 2 columns on email blank. You'd get rid of 2 phone numbers. You'd leave that blank. You just have that, and you can then upload that data set with blank columns, and you then take that and you upload it. So then you would just simply upload it into this, you know, and the other piece is if you wanted to put customer value in there, i.e. how much each person spend with you, because then Facebook actually optimizes to the people that spend the most amount with you. So when you create a lookalike, it can make a lookalike of the people that spend the most with you. It's going quite deep here, but that's what I like to call effing cool. There's a technical phrase for it. And so you kind of add that in, you upload it, and there you go. You just find the file that you just edited and just upload it, and then jobs are good, right?
And
so
you say you can just work off name and email address. You don't have to have the telephone number.
Can, yes, you can. It may not find everybody, but it might find enough, because then once you've got these audiences in there, you've uploaded it, you can then go and say, I'd like to create a lookalike audience. And then you go find the audience that you've just uploaded. So you can see how I've got my company's lifetime value customer database. And so then you make a lookalike audience of 1% away. So basically, is it 99% as close as possible to that audience? Or if you're happy with it being 98% as close to that audience, you can do 2%. And that will give you an even bigger audience. There's normally about 1 million people that are kind of 98% as close to that audience that it seems to find. That's how you then do those bits.
We could spend all day. We could spend all day on here, couldn't we, Richard?
Yeah, all right, I'll shut up. All right, that's a lovely, nice way of saying to shut up. Right, I get it.
Actually, I never worked on it like that, but it worked as well. Now, joking aside, thank you. I really wanted to say thank you wholeheartedly for Richard coming on today. for everyone to join in. This is a deep topic, and we've covered some important points this morning. So really, really big thank you. And for everyone who's wondering for more information, there's Richard has a sort of an entry point, a kind of a mini strategy session, which the link is the top point in the chat. Is that right, Richard?
Yeah, it is. I think it would only be for people that were here at the start, so I'll reset.
Okay. And myself, before we go, my name's Nick Griffith, and this is the Lead Generation Roundtable. This is part of my Lead Generation Scorecard. So I'll, in the last 60 seconds, I'll try and do this as quick as I can. So when I say quick, I've give myself 60 seconds. Can everyone see the kind of the screen share now with the funnel? Is that right?
Yes.
Lead generation. Richard was talking at the bottom here about leads, and what my piece of work, my piece of the pixel is all about generating a scorecard or a quiz that helps you optimize the conversion of your traffic into leads. So this point at the top here is all about awareness. Richard, this is where awareness, Facebook ads kicks in, isn't it? Really, engagement is how good is that ad or interaction or website info swap or something like that, isn't it? It's all about how engaging that content is, taking them into becoming an opt-in, joining your leads, and then coming through eventually at the bottom becoming customer. And what I've done for others and what I've done for myself is I've built a scorecard or a quiz at the front end, which increases that conversion rate. I'm not going to go through it here now, but I put the link to my own quiz, which is free to take, in the chat. And what I'm looking for is 5 businesses. Well, there's only 2 spaces left who I would build the quiz for you. So normally the quiz would be a paid for service. And I'm offering out of 5 slots, another 2 left for anybody that's interested in testing out this kind of formula, for me to build and pay them for the quiz out of my own time, and only start looking at it and talk commercial terms once it starts generating results. So when I say to anyone that's listening on this call, or anyone that's interested in this kind of offer, what's that all about? Then I've put the link into the chat, a bit like Richard, for you can have a book in a 10 or 15 minute call with myself, and you can find out what I'm doing for 4 of the businesses right now, which is, it's about a 4 to 6 week project. I build a quiz or a scorecard that suits exactly their business model. We plug it in at the front, and only once it starts producing results do we talk commercial terms. And I say that's as simple as that. We've overrun by a couple of minutes. I won't even open it up to questions, but if you're interested to find out more, then book yourself a call with myself or a call with Richard. I'm sure we'd be very, very happy to have that. Anything else to add?
Nick's doing our scorecard for us, gang. So just so you know, so having a lead generation magnet on your site that's generating leads that he spent the time to create for you, I bit his arm off. So he's definitely someone that I'd recommend. So there you go, gang.
That's it. And so I guess it's a big thank you to Richard. It's a big thank you to everyone that's come along to join today. And we're back here weekly at 11 o'clock on Zoom. So thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. And I take a lot of takeaways.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, everyone.
It was wonderful.
Just one thing. Can you send us the video? Can you send us the recording?
I will send everybody the recording who's registered on this call. You will all get the recording.
Brilliant. All right. Thanks, bye.
Thanks, Roy. Thank you. Thanks, Angie. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you, Richard.
Pleasure. I'll leave, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers,
Thanks,
Nick.
Richard. Take care. Thank you.